Mine's only 9 pages, sorry about that. I'm just kidding. Dear friends, it's a great honor for me to be asked to speak tonight. I'm grateful to the Graybeards for inviting me and for honoring the man that saved my life. I first came in contact with the Graybeards in 2002 when I was assigned in Far Rockaway. They were the organization that offered us the greatest assistance all throughout the year. Whenever there was a need or a challenge to be met, it was the Graybeards that we went to first. And that is still true today. Tonight is a celebration of the selfless giving that is part of Rockaway. The work of the Graybeards each year touches thousands of lives and the people in our communities. As we all know, they give us an example of selfless giving and what it means to care for those who are in need. Tonight, I'm honored to speak about one of their honorees, my dear friend, Patrick Nash. Many of you know that I'm quite used to public speaking, but tonight's a little different. It's difficult to put into words how grateful I am to Pat for all that he's done for me. It goes beyond ordinary friendship for a friend to give another friend an actual piece of themselves. But that's exactly what Pat Nash did for me. In late 2014, I was diagnosed with late-stage kidney disease. I was informed at that time that one kidney was small and never really worked, and the other one was failing. The doctors told me that I would need to have a kidney transplant in order to stay alive. Luckily for me, I thought at the time was that I was the youngest of 4 children and there would be a good chance that one of my siblings would be a match. After months went by, each of my siblings were ruled out for different reasons. I then was faced with the question of what to do next. It's one thing to ask a family member for an organ, but totally another thing to ask a friend or a stranger to make such a huge sacrifice. In the meantime, the diocese assigned me to St. Francis de Sales to rest. And get ready for a possible surgery. Coming to St. Francis de Sales was perhaps the second greatest gift that I could ever have received. To be assigned to this amazing parish, to work with and learn from one of the greatest priests in our diocese, Monsignor John Bracken. To be reunited with my old friend, Father Bill Sweeney, and a fantastic and dedicated staff, and to be a priest to wonderful, loving, and faith-filled families was a bright light at the end of a very long, dark tunnel. All during this time, friends and parishioners would ask me how they could help. No one asked that question more often and with more strength than Pat Nash. I had started dialysis, and Pat would frequently say, "Jim, what do I have to do? Jim, where do I go get a form to become a donor?" Or lastly, "Jim, you better give me that effing form." And though he wasn't the only one who asked, I knew he was on a mission to help me get a new start at life. Nothing was going to stop him from making this happen. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and I'm sure there were many people along the way who told him that he was crazy. But none of those naysayers could stop Pat Nash from being the man that he is. You see, Pat Nash and I met over 22 years ago thanks to our mutual friends, Tara and Timmy Stackpole. I think that for both of us, Timmy Stackpole was the moral compass in our lives. It may sound hard to believe, but Timmy Stackpole was the guy that used to keep this priest in line. It wasn't a pounding over the head type of message, but it was always a reminder of how we should be our best and how that can only happen when we allow ourselves to live the gospel, to practice our faith, and to do good for others without ever counting the cost. That's how Timmy Stackpole lived his life. He was someone who I always like to say had all the pieces of the puzzle. Most of us are missing a few, and some more than a few. No offense to Joe Courtney and Vinny O'Grady. All throughout the process of being tested, Pat would tell me that Timmy is going to help us. We both knew he would and could intercede. And the night Pat called to tell me that he was a match, and not just an ordinary match, but an unusually good match for people who are not related, we knew that Timmy had made things happen. In both of our lives and in thousands of other lives, Timmy Stackpole reminded us how to live, how to care for others, and what self-sacrifice is all about. I cannot help but think, Pat, how proud Timmy is of you in heaven. That same little kid that used to follow him all around the surf club. Tonight, I'm grateful to the Graybeards for doing something that I could never do, honoring this great guy who truly is a man for others. He didn't get this way on his own. Tonight, we celebrate his awesome parents, Fran and Jack Nash. They are affectionately known as Toucan Fran and Six-Pack Jack. Fran and Jack, thank you for raising your son in such a way as making him the person that he is today. They, along with John and Kerry and Marty and Megan and Casey and Bridget and Riley and Devin, have and continue to make him the great man that he is. I celebrate the faculty and teachers at Good Shepherd School, at Xavier, at Mount St. Vincent for showing him that life isn't about what you can do for yourself, it's about what you can do for others. I salute his brothers in the FDNY, many of whom are here tonight, as they all constantly give of themselves on a daily basis to protect the people of this city. But most of all, I celebrate you, Patrick Nash, for being the best friend that anyone could ask for. Thank you for giving me my life back, for saying yes and never looking back, and most especially for giving us all an example of what true selfless giving is all about. I love you, brother, and I will thank you for the rest of my life.